Hey guys, we got here a retract that was damaged. We're getting ready to repair. A club member had a little bit of a wild landing there and basically ripped the retract out of the foam, and then it pretty much severed the wire right at the end of the retract. So I went ahead and took it apart. So we're getting ready to do some soldering. So what you saw there first, I was putting some solder on the or tinning the iron, and then I went ahead and put some resin on the part there. That way it'll melt the solder pretty easily. So then I desoldered the pins that were on there, or I'm sorry, the wiring that was on there. So right there I just put some more resin on to melt the solder that was already on there. It was a nice bit, so I didn't need to really resolder that, but I did make sure I had solder on the ends of the wires and on the iron. It's very tiny, so if you have a kit, it works out real nice. Instead of just having to buy or replace a whole retract, you can just repair it. Make sure you pay attention to the orientation, get that correct. So everything seems to be fine there. Not a hard job whatsoever. Very easy. It's tiny. I have a magnifying head set where I can blow that up almost 50 times. It's pretty decent little setup. And it allows me to see those small pins and small wires and everything. So as you see there, I didn't have enough solder on that one. I wasn't happy with it, so I removed it and resoldered it. So I'm just getting a little bit closer. All right, so here I went ahead and used some hot glue to secure the wires to the board, and then also put a little bit of a barrier insulation between the wires. When I took the sheathing off, it was a little too much I took off, so when I put it back on, I had a little bit more wire exposed than I want. As you see there, I gave a thumbs up. I did a quick test to make sure I didn't have any continuity issues where I may have crossed a wire or a small wire was a problem touching. So I did a continuity test after that before I put power to it and blew some stuff up. So if you're ever having to do one of these retracts here, you see I'm having a little bit of a headache there trying to get that thing in, and I forgot you need to, wind it back a little bit so that the button that tells the electronics, hey, I'm at full extension to stop turning the motor, was in the way. So I was sitting here fighting with this thing. Finally figured it out, and I got it moved back. See there, I was still fighting. I was like, what in the heck is going on? So just keep that in the back of your mind. You need to just move that back some. You see, now I'm doing it. You want to move that arm back just enough so that the detent is out of the way on that button. And then once you get it in place, then you can put it back where it was at. And then that should be good to go. So here you can see I put everything back together. I also had to go back, and you see when I'm using that tool to scrape that away, some of the glue. I did have to go back in there and put a little bit more glue on the backside and get that situated, but everything's turned out to be good. So we'll watch this here until get to another point. If you you don't necessarily have to use hot glue. You can use electrical, I can't remember the name of it. It's some kind of, it's a glue. It's like a white lithium glue, I believe. And it also does the same thing where it isolates. It gives you a little insulation and allows the wires not to touch, which is very nice. So we'll continue on here, putting it back together after we pull it apart, making sure that the wires aren't being pinched anywhere and pulling through. And then I go ahead and get everything tidied up. It's pretty nice. Getting all the screws on. Alright. And if you guys need to slow it down, I'm recording this at 4, not recording, but speeding this up to 4x so you can get through this video. As you see, it's already 6 minutes. So if you slow it down to 4x, or 4 times to get it, you know, slower if possible, or just pause it if you need to see something closer, you can. And so going ahead and getting my testers back out to check, making sure I don't have any cross wires again after the install, and everything seems to be good to go. And here I'm going ahead and using my servo tester and testing the Retract. And there you have it. Everything seems to be working well. I did some other repairs to it. Viper rear main retracts are a pain. They collapse in, and then the screws in the backside gets all jacked up. So I went ahead and did some other stuff to it, but you know, that's for another, you know, hack video or something else. So thanks for watching. That's it for now. Hope you guys learned something.